pasarnos ahora a la parte de marketing y ventas, que creo que es algo que en tema de turismo también nos interesa mucho a los destinos. So we're moving on to marketing and sales. We have here a very expert in this field. Silvia Sineck is coming from Budapest. You know that from Ourense, we are the best promoters of Budapest because we go over there worldwide telling we are the second thermal destination, urban destination after Budapest. So I think that you should support us in our promotion campaigns. I'm joking, but that's true. We have been many years talking about this, and she would explain which kind of strategic in terms of promotion they are doing from this beautiful and this iconic thermal destination, not only in Europe but also in the world. Thank you, Silvia.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to put on my CEO, Mrs. Ildikó's huge warm greetings, but unfortunately, unexpected event, she couldn't be there, but that's why it's my honor and pleasure to be here and to present our beautiful thermal heritage. But this way, I should put a picture, sorry for guys, but I was promised to take it. I'm not so good with selfie, but so please. I tried to do that my best. First of all, I would like to share you some information that, may I ask you, have you ever been in Budapest already? Many times. Oh, László, please, come on. Okay, and have you ever visited one of our thermal bases already? No, Bernard, really? Yes, okay. And you guys never have ever been there? And hope the end of the presentation you will add to visit one of our historical thermal bases to your bucket list. And yesterday evening I asked Mario that can I take a little bit not so serious presentation, because whole the day we get so many excellent presentations and very serious themes, but I think that deeply that thermal buses, using buses and looking at thermal buses, it's so much fun and joy in the experience. So please, in my presentation, I will follow these points to present the key messages to our historical thermal buses and our successful working more than 150 years. And you know, this is really a big challenge for me to keep these 20 minutes. And Mario, do you know our historical thermal buses and your culture? So it is a big challenge to take it in 20 minutes, but I try to do my best. So, first of all, I would like to tell just a very short stories about our historical thermal buses. I was mentioned that our history goes back to 150 years, but it's much more. The first golden age was during the period of the Roman area in the 2nd century. In that time, the second legionary of the Roman Empire was building 25 buses already. And do you know that already in that by Lava Bene, it's called that the buses means two other roles. On one hand, of course, it means that relaxing and healing, or for the souls and for bodies as well. But of course, in the other hand, buses have also been a meeting point. And in that way, in the social interaction since that time, it means that the bus culture is much more than having busing. It's much more to relaxing. It's friendship and it's connecting with other people as well. So that's why in that time was also very important for that. It's also a very important time for us in the area of the Turkish domination. And we are very proud of it because we have already buses still operating. It was built in the 16th century. And it's called Rudas, Király, and Rácz. I will show you pictures of them. And of course, we are very, very proud of it. Could you imagine, what do you think, how many springs do we have under Budapest? What do you think about it? Oh, Catherine, but you know too much. Okay, 118 do we have? So, and that's why we have 13 bath houses, 7 of them is historical thermal baths, is still operating. So it's amazing. And that's why in the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century is also a very important period for us. It's a golden age, I will send them then. In the like Széchenyi and Gellért baths, with world famous bathhouses in Budapest was built in that period. And I think if I'm working here in the Budapest baths over 20 years, not 20, 12 years, sorry. But in that time, I had the possibility to visit a lot of historical thermal baths. And you can imagine that way that what we can offer you in Budapest with 13 baths, 7 for them historical thermal baths, it's a very, very unique USP, very unique touristic attraction for Budapest. And in that time, in 1937, the first International Balneology Congress was held in Budapest in the Gellért baths. And for more than 30 countries was taking that, and was taking that no other city that is more deserving be the permanent seating as a seat to take this Balneology Congress than Budapest. So that's why it's the Gellért baths is a grand project for us for the next 2 years. We would like to renovate it then, but I hope in the next 2 years, in 2 years we can make such a good conference like Mario and Emma and all the other guys do that here in Tema Italia. So we will do our best. And yeah, in the last year you will see a picture about the Széchenyi, what is at that time it was opened in 1913, and that time it was the biggest bath complex in Europe, until today one of the biggest bath complexes in Europe. Of course, in the 21st century, we couldn't stop it for developing or buses and services. In the last 10 years, we had a very good period that every year we can open a new buses or we can provide new services. And you know, it's very important to monitor the visitors' needs and make new services for them. But it's very important to keeping the values of our bus culture. And we have a lot of discussion with László or with Csilla, so my colleagues from Hungary as well, that do we need any other services for other countries? I mean that you know that maybe also in the Hungarian buses you will find Thai massage or Ayurvedic massage and so on. But in my opinion, in our historical thermal buses, we have to provide services what is experience for us for 100 or 1,000 years. So in that time, you couldn't find any other massage like Széchenyi massage, Gellért massage. So the experience what we can offer then. And in that time, what I have already mentioned, we have 2 big projects in us in the next 2 years that we would like to renovate the Gellért bus and the Rácz bus, which more than 500 years old. And so that's why we need the tourist people and the visitors, because you will see that why I mentioned that. Yes, what makes us unique? Hungary is among the top 5 countries rich in thermal water and waters. Budapest is the only metropolis in the world where you can find so many natural springs and so many healing thermal water, and what I mentioned, historical thermal baths is still operating. So it's really a big issue and a big effort for us. And in 2020, it was a research, this is the 6 historical buses is still operating, and it's minimum 100 years old, but in the corner there it is Király and Rudas and Rácz buses, and the Rudas is over 500 years and still operating, so it's amazing. And in 2020 or 2021, it was a research. And you can see that the top 10 most Instagrammable hot springs in the world, and Széchenyi and Gellért bus is over there. And if you can see that, this is the only 2 buses with built bus houses. All the others are natural springs. So that's why we see that it's a so unique experience what you can a lively experience in our capital city. And of course, Instagram and social media is a very important roles in my life. So a role in tourism, you can see that a monthly turnover of persons and the top 10 countries in the last years. But you can imagine that 2019 we had more than 5 million visitors in our 13 bus houses, and just in Széchenyi we welcome more than 1.3 or 1.7 million visitors. Of course, over the COVID, we had a loss income and loss visitors, but nowadays we can finally mention that 90% or 85% of our statistic from the 2009, so the visitors number is still in 85% is over there. So we are very proud of it. You can imagine that every year we make a research, and during 1 week we ask every guest where they come from, how this, and so on and so on. And you can imagine that during this week in the Széchenyi we can welcome guests over 90 countries. So it's really a unique touristic attraction, and to a statistic saying that 60% of the visitor for Budapest is definitely visit one of our historical thermal buses. And and we have a very important question, there's services across generations. You know that the tourist people also would like to visit the buses because they would like to like this. Why is so popular in Budapest, the thermal buses? And it could be authentic if we have a lot of visitors who came us every year, every day. And this annual card donor is mostly over 2,000 people, and the loyalty card holder almost 10,000 people. And it's very important to show that these guys could give the experience to the families, and they can bring the children with us, because also what Emma mentioned, it is very important to show the young people why it's so important to looking and visiting the thermal buses. And that's why I mentioned that. In 2011, I made the first research, and it was shown that the most visitors is over 60. And I think it's not just Hungary, but all over the world. You can see that the thermal buses are visitors are mainly elder people there. And it was the main project that how can we tell that to the young people that it's worth to visit them, because I'm very sorry, but almost you have already problems with your skins or with your bodies, but you don't recognize that yet. But you are sitting all over audience for the computer and so on, so you have somebody problems in your bodies. And if you are already have to visit, that possibility to visit the thermal buses, this could be a very good effect to protect you. And that's why I know this is very boring messages for you, that if I ask the young people in our country and we are thinking what is thermal buses can for you, they say, oh, there's all old people, what can I do there, and so boring, and so on and so on. So that's why it was very important that we begin in 2011 with our Sparty programs. It looks like less similar what DJ David Guetta will show you. It looks like in this one, this is the Széchenyi bus. Every Saturday evening, beginning for February, end of December, every Saturday evening we make Sparty. It's held on the outside area. It with music and lights with DJ. Of course, some alcohol, but not that is the main cost one. And you know that nowadays we have more visitors under 30 than over 60. And these guys who visit us in these ages, I hope that if you come back to your country and you will be elder and you will be family, then you will have very good effects that you come back to Budapest and with your family you visit us as once more. And then this is a beer spa. It's also very beloved for the young people as well. So that's why I mentioned that we have to put messages for the young people why it's so important to visit us. But of course, we have to keep the other people as well. So that's why a very good message that thermal buses with fun and with joy and also for relaxation and for feeling can provide services for everybody. Yes, but all have we mentioned that we have a very, very big treasures with our water, with 118 sources and from 21 to 76 degrees, qualified mineral water with 70 million liters water per day. So this is, I think, this is statistics data that can understand everybody that why we are so proud of our treasures. The Mecca of aromatics was called already for the 16th century, and Salus per Aqua, it means that our water is probably not the most important things, but it's good for the yes, but I was not looking for this was. Laszlo helped me. Locomotor diseases. This is, it's a quite good word for it. Yes, so everything, for everything it's very good, but it's very important that not just for healing, the prevention is most important. Pardon me? Not laughing, ladies. Okay, so that's why it's very important to develop this area as well. And then last year, after the COVID situation, we had to develop this private area, private medical spa area as well. And after the COVID, it's not enough to speak about it, that the thermal water, it's not good for your skin and your body, but also for your mind and for relaxation and to stop the stress. It's the best medicine that you can keep it them. So that's why it was a very important study there. But you know that it's unfortunately Budapest is not exist on the healing on the medical places. We are touristically very city break destinations. So our visitors come for 2 or for 3 days. So not like at first of all a medical treatments, because in Hungary we have a lot of other beautiful cities with thermal baths all over Hungary. And Budapest is, yes, it's a capital city of Hungary with a lot of to do, with ruin pubs and with opera and culture and so on. But if you ask me why it's so unique, if you know that it's every time when we are speaking about the tourist sector, Budapest, Prague and Vienna, these three capital city was mentioned, that why it's important, and tourist people from the USA or from China, in which country they have time to visit them. And I think that yes, all the other city has beautiful countrysides, beautiful historical buildings, gastronomy, and very, very lovely people there. But what we in Budapest we can offer, the historical thermal baths that no other have. You can't find that. So that's why it's a big challenge not to stay just 2 or 3 days in Budapest, but you have to stay there over 2 weeks. And yes, I would like to show you that we have also very modern and new buses. This is called Pesterzsébet. This is the source part of Budapest. And it was opened in 2013, but it was closed during financial situation, and we could open it in 2019. And the water that we can here, this special iodine salt water, it's very unique also, not just in Budapest, but also in Hungary. So that's why we are we're looking for new services and new bath houses that we can offer more and more services. And you know that I will said for the local people that they have a very lucky situation if they are coming for them house in 200 meters, they can sitting in a thermal water and a thermal pools. And this may be the most important question, that the sustainable development, it's very, very important. The responsible water management is mainly the main goals for us. And it's not a joke. Why is the hippos is there? We are very proud of it, that from the Széchenyi Bath is over the opposite there, the zoo, and the hippos is can living or bathing in our thermal water. And yes, only these hippos who's living in Budapest in our zoo have a baby. So if you are checking the zoos in Europe and you see a hippo babies, shortly they have some community with Budapest zoos and with our water. So that's why it's, and Mario was asked me to have one also very important question, that you know that our company is the property of the municipality of Budapest, but we work like a profit-oriented company. So unfortunately, we don't have any financial support for municipality for Budapest, and not from the government from Hungary. And our role in tourism's role in Budapest is the capital city of the world. In Hungary, we couldn't take any apply for loan for the European committee as well. So that's why it's a really, really big project for us to take these 13 or 14 bath houses in a good position. And I have to say that our historical Dharma bath is very beloved. Also, we need the tourist people as well. And in that case, we can make a positive incomes, and end of them we can provide renovations, but it's of course a very, very big goal to make these historical thermal baths in such effort what we needed, because you know that it's much more easier to build the new bath houses in a greenfield bath house. It is much more not so expensive like operating a thermal baths, but this is our treasure and this is our heritage, and we have to protect them. And what for our father and forefather was built for us, I think this is a main goal what we have to do then. And of course, the responsible water management, it's a goal for them, and use of draining pool water for heating. And that's why that we are very lucky situation that we have the water, thermal water over 30 degrees in Széchenyi, 76 degrees, and so on. We can provide it, we can use the energy for heating the building as well. So, and that's why I think it was my last picture, but not at least, I would like to show you one very short film as well. Please welcome it.
Water. Provides strength. Water. Inspires. Water heals. It makes people happy. Here in Budapest, we have known for thousands of years that water is life itself. Budapest, the historic spa capital of the world.
But do you think it's worth to visit? Did you put it add it to your bucket list? Okay, then I make a great job. So thank you very much for your attention.